Hi, my name is Herman Garner. I am a supplier diversity consultant with Diversity 411. We help small companies win contracts with Fortune 1000 companies and governmental agencies, and we also help them in the onboarding process, which typically means just preparing them for electronic transactions, electronic data interchange, and just generally interfacing with the supply chains of large organizations. But the reason why we're here is to talk about this, the strategy building session. And so a lot of people say, this concept, it sounds complicated. What is it? A strategy building session is basically a structured brainstorming session designed to uncover the assets and the liabilities and the resources that are available to an organization to reach its goals. And the reason why the chess set is there is because your organization, all organizations, are made up of these disjointed and fragmented pieces, whether they be departments or individuals or assets. And what we're trying to do is to align those resources in such a way that we get the maximum potential from those, and that they're all focused on the same thing, and that we're able to reach the goals that we have identified. And so I like to use analogies, and the reason, by the way, these will be done in 5-minute intervals, and so wherever it drops off, it drops off. And so you just pick it up on the next one. Supplier strategy building session, diversity 411 session 2. But I like to use analogies, and the reason why analogies are so important because they take these really complex ideas and they can sort of distill them into these little bits of information that you can identify, you can share, and it just helps to enhance the understanding. And so if we look at an organization, and all of us are balls of energy, let's compare it to the bullet. And so we have this bullet, right? We cut the top off, we remove the projectile, and we pour the gunpowder out onto this canvas. And so we take a lighter and we ignite the gunpowder. And so what happens? Maybe a little fizzle, maybe you might burn your finger, maybe there might be a black spot around your on your desk, but the energy that is caused from the explosion is basically just dissipated around the room. It's just dispersed around the room, but nothing happens, right? And that's kind of like what we are, and that's the reason why we're here and talking about strategy building sessions. Because what do we want to do? We want to focus the energy. And so by focusing the energy, by controlling the energy in this case, the chamber of a gun, we're able to take that same amount of energy, the same amount of energy that was displayed here, we take that same amount of energy and we can push a projectile fast enough to do what? We can stop a life, we can save a life, we can protect someone, we can. It is a phenomenal amount of power. But the interesting thing that I want to point out is that it's the same amount of power that was ignited here. And so that's kind of like what our organizations are. And it's important to understand that we are not infinite. And the energy in the bullet, it's not infinite either. And so there's some similarities there, right? We're not infinite amounts of energy, and so we have to utilize the energy that we have in order to hit the target. And so, and that's the kind of the importance of it. And so at the beginning of a strategy building session, this is an interesting thing because people say, well, what's the target? And we don't necessarily always know what the target is at the beginning of the strategy building session. And the reason why we don't know what it is because we haven't evaluated all the assets and the resources and the liabilities that are available to the organization. And so what I mean by that is if you're an organization and you're grossing $100,000 a month in sales, the probability of becoming a $1 million month organization is pretty low. And the reason why is because the infrastructure, the systems, the processes and controls have not been developed to be able to handle that amount of additional income. And whatever you're doing, whether it's products or services, you won't be able to ramp up to provide those. And so that wouldn't be a reasonable target. We can't identify a reasonable target until we identify the assets that are available to the organization, and then also see whether or not those assets can be aligned. And so we do kind of like what's a gap analysis and stuff like that. Okay, and so we're almost at our 5 minutes. I appreciate your time. The next slide is business growth trajectory. I assure you, you're going to enjoy this, and we're not done defining the target. And look forward to talking to you in the next one. Thank you.